Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be, Shield Destroyer. And it's Saturday morning. Just sitting around for the last couple of hours. Now, what, 10 past 11, quarter past 11? And yeah, just bored. B0 red. That's why I'm reading bored. But I don't know why. Anything with a red in it always kind of alerts me. Because they love their red, don't they? The blood, the colour of blood. I done a live last night. We had 3 in max, but only one chatter, and pretty much that was it for the whole evening. Well, the whole, I don't know, was it about an hour? So struggling like shit to get any wheels in motion on this channel, like where we're getting a decent amount of people that keep the conversation going, right? So yeah, it gets a bit boring, doesn't it? When it's boring for me when I've got no feedback coming from a lot of people, because it's how you bounce on this rather than just talk to yourself. And it's good that we got one. Otherwise it'd be like, if you've ever seen anyone, they tend to last a very short time when I have no one to bounce back on at all, But again, the main reason for me, of course, is to be able to express to somebody, even if you can't see the person, it could just be bots. Everyone on it could be bots in reality, couldn't they? But for me, for my own peace of mind, I suppose, it's just getting stuff off your mind, being able to talk about real rather than in the real world. Of course, it's fake, and everyone's fake. Nobody wants to talk anything real. They also, majority of people get so offended by anything and everything today, especially when you're talking anything that might be in some people's minds kind of scary. The reality of what's being presented to them is nothing like the reality that is the reality, right? So we live in this fake world of fake people. Of course, if you're living in a fake world and everyone's buying it, allowing it, going along with it, it's fake people, isn't it? And that's the majority. Because for some reason they've managed to stop people from caring, right? People always pretend they care about each other. I'm pretty fucking, people don't care a fuck about each other, man. I've seen it through my whole life, really, how little care there actually was from a child all the way up, innit? You think, Christ, people don't, your closest, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about you, do they, really? They only care about what's good in their life, how their life is somehow, given this feel of happiness. I always say the feel, because true happiness, no, not many people have ever really known, innit? If anyone in this world today, because like I say, how can you really be happy when you're seeing disgrace all around you, right? Whether it's a man on the street, you know what I mean, let alone a child on the street, you know what I mean? I fucking hate seeing fucking nice little animals on the street, you know what I mean? It's and if you've got all this fucking, it doesn't matter, well, unless you're really particularly selfish, which I guess a lot of, or the majority probably are. Well, I suppose that's part and parcel of why there's no care, and it's all about me. Maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Maybe really humanity is just supposed to come along and give a fuck about itself. Maybe all the other stuff around it, all this pretend caring that they feed us and acting like we should all, we all care about each other. It's all inculcated, isn't it? Everything's inculcated, whether it's through religion, we care about each other. I know it's the flag, we all care about each other. We're the best, it's bullshit, isn't it? And so, yeah, just it's good just to fucking get it off, innit? Get it out there. And just, a way of expressing yourself. And, you could probably say, well, you could express yourself just sitting there looking at the wall, talk to the wall, isn't it? And, that's pretty much talking to the majority of people around you, unfortunately. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help when there's no sort of any feedback, no sort of, you got the wall doesn't tell me, yeah, fucking, you're right. Yeah, it is fucking awful. Yeah, let's be real. Let's be truthful about this instead of hide behind some fantasy fucking life that we're all pretending we've got, right? Whereas obviously on it, you get people who do get it, who have bothered to have a look into things, who can see how absolutely fucking demonic this whole system is that everyone keeps backing up and saying. I mean, I literally said to someone, there was someone talking to me the other day. I was just in a pub having a cigarette, and I was speaking to this guy, or two guys really, but one was more vocal, and I said, oh yeah, he said something about the way. I said like, yeah, the world's gone to shit, and he goes, yeah, you can say that again, and somehow it got on to. He turned around and goes, oh, I was saying something about. I don't know. Anyway, he said something like, oh, you're not going to be, you're not supporting Trump, are you? Blah, blah, blah. I went, no. I said, like, explained, Trump's the 9/11 president, the 4+5, the 4+7, right? Telling people that fucking pretty much when he become the 45th president, right? It's written, it's not, and he can get like, and then he started going, oh, who, oh, well, I'm going to vote for, and I was like, vote? I don't vote. I don't, but, and that was it. I was telling him, yeah, I don't, politics, politicians, all actors, you never find me. And he literally said the programmed response to somebody saying they don't vote. And what is the programmed response? I bet everybody who's listening to this knows what the programmed response is, right? To I don't vote. What's the program response? What's people going to say? Oh no, you got to vote. If you don't vote, it's a waste. You know what I mean? No vote is a wasted vote. You know what I mean? It's like the programmed response, right? And then he kind of shuffled off quite quickly. And then I heard him say to a woman who in the bar, like who was standing at the door as he's walking in, all politics, you shouldn't talk about politics. I was like, oh, dude. You know what I mean? Again, another programmed in the mind. They've got you saying it. Don't talk about politics, right? Politics and religion, I was saying, can it? There's a programmed mindset on that, right? Don't talk about politics or religion with your friends or family, because and it again, you see how they use that, and then how people get so offended because they seem to think but there'll be people out there telling you how Labour's the problem in the world right now is fucking Conservative in the UK, right? Oh, it's the Conservative Party. Yeah, I'm going to vote Labour and everything's going to be all right. And you go, okay, well, when Labour were in, what was so fucking good, mate? And they'll come out with some poppy crap shit that they heard on the news at the time. Oh, well, they helped the working man. Like, you fucking pricks. Don't you find it funny that every Labour leader always talks about the working man and the working class? They call you a class. You know what I mean? And it's like, fuck's sake. Why don't you grow the fuck up and admit that no, they're all the same. Nothing fucking changes, you pricks. They give a fuck about the working class so much, wouldn't they go, right, the working class need to earn more, so let's not tax them. You know what I mean? Simple as that, innit? Right? Let's start taxing the corporations. Let's start using the councils. And instead of like charging everyone this fucking house tax now that come in fucking what, the 90s, the 80s, and of course, That was something new that suddenly come along. What's it called? Poll tax, right? But since all these like different changes, and you haven't seen one of these governments go, yeah, we're getting scrapping that. Whoever, I think it's probably Conservatives bought it in, and Labour's never gone, oh yeah, we're scrapping that, get rid of that. Fucking, that's a fucking absolute disgrace that we're charging all these people just to live in a house and based on blah 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 blah, right? And people will allow it because the poorest will go, oh well, if you've got a bigger house in another postcode, you've got to pay more. So I'm lucky because I'm in a shit fucking shed and I've got to pay less. You know, fucking idiots. You know, it's clear. Roads, road tax. Why are we paying that? Everything. The majority of our fucking driving, which is a legalese word, is to pay them fucking money, right? It's to earn a living. You earn a living. You know what I mean? So the majority on the roads is us fucking working for the corporations, right? How many lorries and all of that are on the roads breaking? Why is there so many potholes always need fixing? Is it cars, light cars, or the big lorries? Majority of them, right? The big fucking lorries. So who should be paying to fix the roads? The corporations. When you get rid of your shit, who's giving us all this rubbish, selling us fucking so much fucking rubbish, right? That we have to put into our bins, and then allegedly everyone will say, well, who's going to collect the bins? Well, the corporation should pay to have the rubbish collected, seeming they're the ones selling it, isn't it, eh? And then maybe based on that, they might not put so much fucking packaging around everything, right? Because they get charged based on the amount of packaging they sell, right? So then they're going to reduce the packaging. It's quite a simple process, and of course it should be down to them to fucking take away the shit they're selling, right? But people will, you know, again, the majority will back the fucking system. And this guy, and that's what this guy said. He goes, but it works. But the system, I go to voting and all that. He goes, yeah, but it works, doesn't it? I was like, how can anyone say it works? The system works. Fuck's sake. Like, that's a ludicrous thing to say. And I don't even think it works for those who benefit from it most, the richest, right? The ones who are in control, the ones who aren't paying fuck all, right? The ones who are taking money from all the fucking scams that they're putting on mankind. Because again, you know, how can you really be happy when everyone around you is fucking not, innit? You know what I mean? When the world's so miserable, how can you actually pretend that you're happy? Because again, they don't know it. They're just greedy. They feel that their happiness comes from greed, having more, having power, all this shit, right? That's where they believe their happiness comes from. But they're not fucking happy. They're all paranoid fucking schizophrenics, mate. All scared to lose the power, right? They spend their whole life fucking paranoid that someone's going to take away their power somehow. They're going to get caught out sooner or later. The whole, you know, they must have nightmares about the whole population coming to get them, right? Because when the population finds out and starts to pinpoint who's actually doing this to us, you know, for a fact, the population are not going to, you know, they're not fucking smart, are they? They're not going to do things in a round-minded, decent, like fucking let's not turn into them type of way. No, they're just going to go straight out and fucking want to fucking chop them up in bits, probably, right? They'll become savages. But yeah, it's just like fucking, it's so fucking like mad that we still, like, in this world today can't start to fucking comprehend anything as a species and start to go, let's make this fucking world happy. You know, that's all you need, isn't it? Is everyone start going, yeah, let's not forget about all this shit, forget about all the past, all this. Let's just concentrate on making this place as happy as we possibly can. How do we do that? Well, straight away, we need to stop fucking culling everything, including ourselves, innit? You know what I mean? We need to stop the fucking culling, mate. You know what I mean? We need to start to respect life above everything else, right? That'd be a good start, wouldn't it? There'll be people that, you can't not, because it's all about me, and I need my fucking hamburger or my steak, right? Me. But once you start to fucking progress into that, the food becomes much better. Natural food's going to be much better for a natural man, I guarantee it. No matter what all these cunts say you need and you require and you want and all this, it's a sales pitch, sales patter, isn't it? All the things we can get, I guarantee we can get through growing natural. The earth gives, right? But as long as people just allow this demonic system, will carry on just fucking culling and not caring and cover the world in blood, which is really what we're doing, isn't it? And when you start off with such a philosophy, of course, war disappears because you're not going to start to care about life and then want to fucking kill each other, right? Based on some man telling you, oh, a man on the telly said there's we got to go to war. Oh, I'll go and join an army where now I'm under orders to go and kill. You know what I mean? Or even the police these days, isn't it? I follow every order. I don't give a fuck about man's freedom and the right to, it's his world. It's not my world, it's his world. Do you know what I mean? It's my world and it's his world, right? But it doesn't mean that I suddenly have rule over that man because I put on a fucking costume, right? I don't suddenly be able to tell him all these rules and regulations based on me wearing a fucking costume and taking a paycheck, right? Which is, again, absolute fucking insanity. But the abnormal always becomes the normal, right? People, slowly catch a monkey. The police were, they, it's so easy to do, isn't it, to get a police force, right? To build a police force, and get people to accept it and actually want it, right? All you got to do is go back to, I don't know, was it Victorian times or Edwardian times when they, tell you there's a rapist, right? There was Jack the Ripper, for example, right? Oh, there's Jack the Ripper. Fucking use your prayers, fucking everywhere, all around. Tell everyone, get everyone talking about this rapist. Look, what we're going to do is we're going to put some men that are going to walk the streets and we're going to pay them. Look at us, we're so good. We're going to pay them to walk the streets at night and day and keep an eye out. You know what I mean? And all the people go, yay, because hopefully they'll sort Jack the Ripper out, right? And then before you know it, this policeman's turned into, we're going to give him a fucking truncheon. Now we're going to give him some handcuffs. Now we're going to give him and the weaponry, in it. To now we're at the point where, you get literally, if anyone sneezes, they can tell you've got to stay at home and you're only allowed out for an hour. And if you don't, they'll fucking attack you, right? That's exactly where we got to. They carry guns, they carry fucking electric shock machines to fucking all that shit, right? And it's allowed and it's the norm now, right? But people don't see how this has started and how they're accepting disgrace and the fact that it's the black and white checkered on their fucking hats and and they can't see the connection between the Freemasonic lodges and the black and the white, and it's just like, well, fuck's sake, people. Start taking responsibility for yourself, innit? You don't need fucking policemen as long as you've got a strong fucking family unit, which nobody has anymore. How many people do you know have got a strong family unit? You know what I mean? How many people? I mean, fuck me, I'm thinking now. How many? Maybe one, maybe two at most. Like for all the people, and that's for all the people I've known in my whole life. You know what I mean? Maybe one or two, I could say. They seem, or from the outside, I wouldn't commit to saying they have. But from the outside, I go, look, they're doing things a lot better because they're staying together and staying strong. But yeah, very, very, very few have a strong family unit, do they? Whereas once upon a time, everything was about the family unit. You bought your your children up to have respect for the family name, right? And that's how people got along, because it wasn't if you done something to your neighbor, it wasn't so much neighbor you'd have to face, it's your fucking family. How dare you fucking bring disgrace upon our family name? Because by doing it to the neighbor, you're bringing the whole family's guilty. That's how it would work, right? Now all of a sudden you're going to struggle, that family, to get everything and to have this connection with other families that you all require in order to survive and be happy, right? Without other families, you got to do everything yourself, right? With other families, they might be doing that, you might be doing that, and then trading these things that you're both doing. All of a sudden they take that trade away because one of your family members a prick. You know what I mean? The whole family loses out, and that's the best basis of a world you could ever have, right? It fucking eliminates crime. If there's some fucking lunatic in your family, you ain't gonna let him out your fucking land, innit? And everyone's got land. That's another thing, innit? They're not all fucking stuck in like fucking tiny piece patches, if they're lucky to have a garden, or in fucking flats and all that. No, they actually have a piece of land that they can all use, and so even being stuck on your own land, you've still got plenty of area to walk, explore, fucking. If you're such a prick where you can't be trusted to go and associate with other people. But of course, the dream of a real world where people are real again, where people actually do care about each other again, is a fucking long way off now, isn't it? The further time goes on, the further away from that we become. We're walking away from it with every step, as long as we allow government, which is clearly the Roman Empire. You know what I mean? And people, like, anyone who's in denial that the Roman Empire left is a fucking loony. You know what I mean? You can see it in the words, you can see it in all the fucking things that we still have to hear about, the histories they teach, the people that we all have to put on a pedestal and say yay and cheer and shit like that, right? It's all the Roman fucking Empire. How you doing, Herman the Tosser? Nice to see you. Nice, mate. Just ranting, mate, as always. Getting it out there, innit? So what was it we was talking about yesterday? That obviously I was saying about like how is there anything you've heard about bloody cold? Is it, mate? Do you know what? I'm sick of, like, I'm sounding like a broken record, but I'm kind of sick about talking about the weather now, because still people are just absolutely blasé about, well, that's the English weather. It's like today again, like I got up about 9 o'clock this morning, and beautiful. Fucking open the doors. First thing I tend to do is I put my kettle on, and then I feed the cat, and then I open the back doors. It don't matter whether it's cold, hot. I kind of open them, because I tend to smoke. So I haven't got like a front window. I haven't got a window in the front room, only the door, the back door. But B, I know as soon as cat eats, he's going to want to go and do his bits outside, right? So that's a kind of routine thing for me. But this morning, I opened the doors, and normally, especially over the last 8 months, you open it and your house gets cold quite quickly, right? You feel the cold, right? But this morning, sun's blaring, fucking no cold. I'm like, look at that, lovely. And then I left the door open, and about half hour, an hour later, I was like, fucking hell, it's cold in here. And the sun had disappeared behind a whole load of fucking cloud that come from the fucking same direction as it always does, and the winds pick up, and it's like now we've got just little glimpses of the sun coming through all this blocked out sky by fake clouds that they put in the sky again, because clearly they don't want Yeah, it should be a beautiful day today, as I've explained on many occasions that we've seen everyone's seen it with their own eyes, although people still sort of say to me, "Oh, was it? I don't think it was that." I go, "You must have seen how beautiful it was, the blue sky, the sun out on the way to work." And then by 11 o'clock, probably when you come out of lunch, it was fucking pissing it down. The sky was white. There was no sun. You never noticed that. Oh, no, was it? I don't, it's like, wow. And that's a constant, like, it's not once a week even. It's fucking on a daily scale at the moment, man. And that's been, as you know, for months and months, because I keep telling people, but mostly to deaf ears, unfortunately. But yeah, now it's a fucking shit horrible day out there, mate. It's fucking. I've had to put the heating on. It's turned from like back, like I say all the time, back in the day, before they were heavily modifying the weather, you would see that what I saw this morning at 9 o'clock when I opened the door and go, okay, right, maybe I'd go up, get showered, put my shorts on, a t-shirt, and think, oh, maybe I'll go to Seaside today, and pretty much you're going to have a lovely day. Chances are 99% chance that it's going to be a lovely day, right? Based on me simply opening the door in the morning. But now, of course, I'll never do that. I go, okay, I wonder how long this is going to last, and 99% of the time I'm completely right. It lasts an hour, maybe two, sometimes 3 hours, and then it's completely changed weather. And I guarantee you all this cloud and all of that shit that you'll see now during this whole day will start to disintegrate, and you'll see the sun and the blue sky a lot bigger just as sunset comes, right? Amazingly. But I'm just a conspiracy theorist, mate, and don't be daft. Of course, they're not manipulating the weather. That's just climate change. CC33 climate change, mate. Big sheet of cloud again. Yeah, exactly, Herman, isn't it? Isn't it funny that it's the same all over, mate? You know what I mean? And again, American, like if you watch any American program on any American YouTuber, you must hear them constantly now talking about the weather, right? And none of them are going, oh yeah, this weather fucking geoengineered. They'll go, oh yeah, it's like really weird. Like they'll just say that, innit? Yeah, you just don't know. They'll sort of laugh it off as, oh, the weather's like, yeah, it's crazy. You know what I mean? They'll never ever turn around. You never hear them go, fuck. And quite a lot of time, you literally see in their videos all these sprayed skies, all this white mist, exactly like you see above your own head every day, right? Like just blind to it. And I'm, oh, wow, the fuck, man. How can you be this blind, man? I'm surprised you can, like, yeah, I think adults, I think some of these people, 40s, 50s, and I'm just like, it's concerning, isn't it, that there's no recognition of anything that's going on in front of their fucking eyes. And they all will just laugh it off. Don't be daft. Oh, fuck's sake, man. It's not funny, really, is it, mate? You know what I mean? Happy taxpayers. Yeah, you know it, innit, mate? You know it. Fucking happy taxpayers. They love it, don't they? They love it. It makes them feel good as well. They've even got that, they've even got it where they, like people are proud, aren't they? Yeah, I'll pay all my taxes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm like, it's that mind control thing where they're proud, like, yeah, I'm giving. You know what I mean? I'm part of this cult, and I'm happy to, like, give. And it's like, well, what good's that fucking giving doing exactly, mate? Yeah. The people you're giving it to are all millionaires and seem to get richer and richer and richer and richer, but everyone else is to get poorer and poorer and poorer. So where do you think your fucking money's going? Is what I'm saying, isn't it? You know what I mean? Can't you work that out yet? Like, are you really that fucking dumb that you haven't worked that bit out? Where's your money really going, isn't it? I'm going to pull a quilt over me. It's not warm. Yeah, mate. I've got to send a whole load of fucking letters off this week, mate. They're attacking me hard again. I even got like a, like from the gas, the electric, right? They've always written to me as what is it? What is it the man said when I fucking sent him away with his fucking tail between his legs? Are you the fuck me, I can't even think of the word now. Are you the what's the fucking words they use when they haven't got a name in a house? I don't know why it's fucking lost me yet. But anyway, so now I got some fucking letter from them, and it was addressed to the occupier. That's it, the occupier, right? Legalese terminology again. Legalese language. Legalese is nothing but a fucking language. Black's Law Dictionary, and they said, and it said on the thing, let's work this out together on literally like the fucking envelope, I'm sure, right? And I've got another one of these letters saying, let's work this out together. But this one now, right, it's got the name that I've known to use, right? And it's from a fucking a fucking collection agency. So, and it's British Gas have asked us to recoup, and it's got my name, the name I've been known to use, not my name, of course, but I'm like, wow. So they've literally been writing to me for 3 years as the occupier, and now they've turned it over to, and that tells me something, right? Because I've already fucked them off as a corporation, so then they're passing it to another corporation who's going, right, yeah, this here it is, but we can't say his name because he's already told us he's not an occupier, blah 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 blah. So we'll turn it over to you, and now they're writing to me, right? So now I've got to write back to them and go, I've been known to use this name. Is there a man making a claim? I do not fucking contract with corporations. Any further fucking harassment will be warring upon living man. I've got to do that. Then I've got the police. They've written the second letter now saying, oh, if you don't respond, you're going to get instant 6 points. So they're forcing the hand now. I've got to fucking send them back this form saying, and I've literally filled the form out with no, in red pen, of course, no legal, no persons or legal entities, right? And I've got to fucking play this game, mate. I could have taken the hits on these, and I'd have 6 points now. The 2 hits, right? I'd have 6 points, right? At the moment, they've whacked me with 6 points from the first one because I haven't responded to that yet. And on this second one, that's 12 points, which is immediate ban. Right? And so if this goes wrong, they could literally sort of, and that's where it really winds me up, where they're really fucking with my life, right? Where based on their fucking disgrace, I've hurt nobody. They're telling me what speeds I've got to go across my land, based on their appraisals or something. Basically, based on obviously them making a load of money, which they do because it's a corporation. And in fact, that corporation that's writing to me at the moment telling me they're going to fuck with my life is actually set up as a charity with no persons and no legal fictions as the corporate heads. They've got no persons listed, right? All they've got is directors, which should alarm people, but most people it won't, because they won't get why they do that. And the fact they've set it up as a charity should, a police force as a charity should speak fucking volumes. But So I'm now going and fucking, rather than like bowing down and going, oh, let's just take 3 points because at least you keep your job, you know what I mean? Keep your car. I'm now gonna fucking start fucking writing to them in the way that I'm not fucking bowing down to your fucking disgusting demonic fucking rules and regulations, you disgusting fucking vermin, innit? Just because the majority won't stand up to you because they're all pussies, don't mean I won't, you cunts. And you won't ever stop me from using fucking pieces of metal to get across my land, right? Whatever you call them, innit? You know what I mean? You call them vehicles. Legalese language, innit? Driving, legalese language, you cunts. Fucking, I know it. I keep telling you it, but you keep fucking harassing me, innit? And you know you can only do persons, dead fictions, legalese language. You've only got control over those who believe they're persons. Dead fictions, corporations, the ones who buy into the cult of corporations. But yeah, so I'm gonna. So now I'm again, and it's a test again, isn't it? You know, I've got to test all these things because certainly you couldn't go onto YouTube and find somebody who's done something and told you how to do it and trust it, right? The only way you can find out how to do it is to do it for yourself. The only way you can you can only free yourself, really. I think that's the point, isn't it? You can't free anybody else. You can't expect somebody to free you. You got to have the balls and go out there and go, right, I'm fucking not, I'm not putting up with this world. You know what I mean? I'm not allowing this abuse of me just because everybody else thinks it's all right. They're not abusing me like they're a fucking abuser. If everyone else is happy to be abused, then that's up to them, innit? That's their free will, right? But my free will isn't. Oh, charity, how lovely. Yeah, Gary, you know, innit? A fucking set up a police force as a fucking charity, mate. And I haven't checked them all, but I dare say it's the same for each one. And of course, they're all corporate, all for profit, charity, and they're all being paid into, and you know, they're not having to pay tax. There's no responsibility when they put no persons, you know, no persons or legal entities. So there's no responsibility that can be put upon man, which is exactly why they do it, isn't it? They're not taking responsibility. They can all duck out. Yeah, who are you going to take to court? You take the corporation to court. What's a corporation? A piece of paper. What's a person? A piece of paper, right? So there's nobody who's actually going to go to jail for any of the disgraces they do, which you see, didn't you? You never see. You might see the odd police officer, which is just a person, right? And they don't give a fuck about them, of course, but they get them believing that their corporation is somehow great and for the good of mankind. And when they get fucking caught with their trousers down, yeah, they'll happily go, yeah, you go to jail, and then all the people will believe that the police don't get away with, you know, the police is good. Look, they're doing it, they're doing themselves. I mean, it's the hierarchy that sit at the top, the proper devils. You know what I mean? The little scropes who do the work, the dirty work for them, are just fucking dumb fucking idiots. But that's the way the world works, isn't it? That's the way it's working at the moment. Not the way it should work, of course. And it's up to people to, you know, as individuals, because there is no group, there is no fucking place you can go, and there's fucking 1,000 people all doing it that get together. It doesn't exist. They've done a good job of keeping us separated in that way. So you have to free yourself. And as you know, it's laziness, but it's just the stress. I don't like stress. Like just writing to them stresses the fuck out, right? And I know everything's about putting stress on us, right? And I desperately try not to let them stress me. Hence why I got the 6 points, because I didn't respond, right? I tried it. I thought, right, let's see what happens if I don't respond. And straight away they make assumptions, right? And apparently under law, they can assume. So then you have to go, okay, right, so they've hit me with 6 points. So that's not the way to go about it this time, Mark. This time you're going to have to use your red pen. And I bought a red pen, I literally went out, bought a red pen. And I've literally put a blood on that paper as well. So we'll see. But I'm not bowing down, mate. I lose my job, I lose my car. I'm not bowing down. They're not scaring me, mate. I'm not living. There's no point in me living under the disgrace that I see in front of me. Right? How disgraceful it is. I'm clear how disgraceful it is. I'm not in any way confused. I'm not wrong. I know exactly how fucking disgraceful and disgusting it is, and I'm not going to sit there and allow it. So that leaves me one option, and I don't give a fuck even if I die of starvation, because I've died and live under their fucking thing, and then that'll go upon their souls. And if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes, isn't it? And also, it's because I ain't scared to die. In fact, fucking, most of the time, I think it's more scary fucking living, isn't it? So we're gonna fucking get them letters out this weekend, because then it's off my. It's one of them things, and the funny thing is, I can't even fucking hardly write anymore. You know what I mean? Like, my writing's so bad because you don't write anymore. I used to have quite a nice handwriting when I wanted to have back in the day when I was at school, innit? And now I'm like, fuck me. And I find it really hard, like, because I'm so used to as well. Always, when I do write, I write in capitals, right? And I'm pretty sure that that's not the way to go. It's got to be small. Everything small letter, right? So I'm doing it all small letter, and I'm finding it really hard to fucking write small letter because I'm just not used to doing it. So even halfway through a word, I might fucking put a capital letter just out of habit. Don't people ever question that saying on my person? People don't question anything, do they, Gary? You know what I mean? They've got no idea, because everyone like will admit their person. There's a song, and it's the one, and it starts with this woman's literally sort of like saying, I will not take a V, I will not blah blah blah. And then at the end of the song, and it goes into this like song all about fucking how the government and how the system is so corrupt. And then at the end, she goes, nobody grants me freedom, for I am a free person. And I thought, everything about that song's great, apart from that last, that I am a free person. You're not a person. You know what I mean? So like literally. I was like, why did you say person? You know what I mean? But yeah, most people, like, everyone thinks they're a person because that's the teaching, right? It just becomes the mindset, the norm. You ask anyone, are you a person? They'll say, yeah, I guarantee it. 99.9% of people out there will agree that they're a person. Morning, SD, Herman and Gary. How are you, Annette? Just wanted to say I've Moorcroft debt folk after me as I've not paid water bill. Fortunately, it's addressed to capital letter person and it ain't me. You've helped me masses. You helped me loads, SD. Oh, good, Annette. Hey, Annette. Yeah, I mean, with things like that, I wouldn't even bother with a response, to be fair, Annette. And I wouldn't let them stress you. Don't fucking let them the threats, because that's what all the threats are about. Is see, hopefully people like us, we're not worried about credit. This like a letter like that will stress people who always worry about their credit rating. You know what I mean? Because that's where they feel like they're going to get buckled the most. Oh, it's going to affect my credit rating if I don't pay this bill. yeah, don't fucking live on credit then. You know what I mean? Don't fucking rely on credit, man. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, otherwise, if you are relying on credit, then respond in red letter explaining that, you know, if there's a man making a claim, then may that man stand in front of me and make the claim. Otherwise, I am a living person, known living man. So that even I'm so person, a living man or woman who has been known to use that name. Any further harassment, you know, is against living man and will be a sign of a warring on me, which is exactly what it is, because that's why it's called charging, as I explain all the time, right? They're charging you. A charge to charge somebody is a sign of war. You know, so but otherwise when they come, the first thing they're going to say is, are you that's the first thing they're going to do when you open the door. Are you, they're either going to say the occupier or say the name that you've been known to use, and in both circumstances, of course, you're not. And then you explain to them that get off of the land I'm using. I do not contract with corporations. I do not stand under or understand any language that they're using. But yeah, people need to, you know, it's good that people are starting to fight back and not just, you know, most people cripple over because that's what it is. That's why they send you all these letters. It's putting pressure, right? It's making you feel uncomfortable. It's threatening. It's telling you you're, you know, breaking law, or you know, you're going to lose your credit score is going to go down. It's all these threats and everything in order to bully. It's bully tactics is exactly what it is. And yeah, fucking shouldn't have to pay to live, man. You're not born and all of a sudden you know, oh yeah, you got to pay this, you got to pay that. Oh yeah, well, you know what? Fuck off, cunt. Sorry, some men have decided that they've got control of all the resources of the world, and now you've got to pay for them. What? And you've got to pay for heating because we've outlawed like fucking putting a wood burner in your house and going to chop wood. You can't go chop trees down, mate, and burn your own wood, therefore not have to pay us. No, we've outlawed that, mate. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Oh dude, it's funny, like I did see in the news not so long ago that they were outlawing literally wood burners, right? And like straight away, like you're just like, what the fuck? And again, it was down, you know, using the environmental shit to convince people that it was nothing to do with them wanting to not have people being able to heat their home a lot cheaper than having to pay the fucking corporations for gas, you know what I mean, and electric. How dare you exist free of charge? Yeah, exactly. Because you're a farm animal as far as they're concerned. You know what I mean? What's a farm animal? It's profit, right? You don't have a farm animal that's not about profit, do you? Every farm animal's there is profit. You know, it's supposed to give back to the farm. The farmer wants the farm animals because it's going to make him money. Exactly what we are, right? We're farm animals. We're here to make the corporation and the people who control them money. That's all we are, man. So we need to still, yeah, stand up as individuals, man. Don't be scared. Don't let them scare you. What's there to be scared of? It's far more scary allowing it than fucking fighting it. There's going to be no freedom in your life if you just allow it, man. You're always going to be a slave. you're always going to bow down to the bully, innit? And fucking who's really happy bowing down to the bully, right? Nobody, but most people do. I put a sticker on door, no access to unauthorized personnel. Yeah, you know, there was one that I had in a window, and the police still broke in, but that was, you know, again, it was right of access. And now when I go back to that and I think, like, I think, do you know what? It's probably, again, you know, there's certain words in there that are giving confirmation that it's probably a con, is what I'm saying. You know, people fell for it. I probably fell for it for myself. Putting this no right of access sort of, but you know, a thing that I got off the internet. I had in my window for years, and I thought it was working until the police broke into my house. You know, allowed the locksmith to fucking break the door locks, and over what was that over? That was over gas electric bill to put in prepayment meters at my old house, right? So then on this one, I took my number off the door, right? So it's not dressed up. That's hence why I straight away took the number off the door, right? So there's no address here, right? I'm not seeing it as a dressed up building or a piece of land that's wearing a dress. And yeah, and just when they come, this land is being used by me. You're not fucking. There's no fucking persons here. There's no fucking occupiers. We don't understand your fucking language. Now fuck off. As simple as that, really. But I find with water, I don't think I've ever paid a water bill in my life, and with that particular corporation, I don't think they ever take it any further than just keep fucking writing your letters, really. I've never had them knock my door. The gas, the electric now, you know, I deal with this corporation, but I do need to get an electrician round to take out the meter, because that's really what they're selling you in it. It's you're hiring the meter. That's their con in it, where you're, you know, where they feel they can charge you because it's their meter. But it's funny that the amount over 3 years. Do you know how much they're asking for for gas, electric? Right? Do you know how much I'm in debt allegedly? Right, 438 quid. And how much I have a electric heater in here that I put on a lot. I've got central heating. You know, my house is always fucking heated. You know, even when I leave for work, I quite often turn the heating on if it's cold, just for the cat. You know what I mean? Like, all right, it's too cold in here for you, mate. Let's turn up the heating so when I leave, you stay nice and warm. Told water, take fluids, take fluoride and shit out of water isn't a basic human right. So that's why they've passed me 1,500 bill to debt collector. Oh, they've sent, have they sent them to your door, or just debt collector fucking letters? Because again, you know, you're not as long, like, you're not contracted to that corporation, right? So you're not contracted to any corporation, but unless you say you are, you know what I mean? Getting meters costs about 400 quid, and you can find an electrician to do it. Oh yeah, who you can find? Yeah, just letters. Oh, just letters. Yeah, that's what they tend to do. They tend to just fucking letter ya, and then eventually when the corporation known as the fucking bailiffs don't get paid, you know, they give up because it's costing them money to write a letter to send it to you. It's not good business, right? So that's why you'll find different bailiffs quite a lot of times. So you get one from one, then all of a sudden you'll get a different bailiff writing to you for the same shit, right? And at that point, quite a lot of time it'll be half the price. If you pay now, we're gonna half the price. You know what I mean? Like the desperation of them, isn't it? Because they're always going to get a percentage. That's all they're working on, isn't it? So a percentage of what they get from the people who pay them is how they make their money. So a percentage of half is better to them than a percentage of nothing, can it? So by going in and going, look, you pay now, we're going to cut you. We're going to look at us. We're doing you a favour. And a lot of people go, oh, look, oh, right, they're half the bill. I'm going to pay it now while I got the opportunity. You know what I mean? And they'll fall for it, innit? But, yeah, just tell them to fuck off. Stand your ground, as you know who you are, innit? Know what you are. Know the power you have. Because it's your world. It's not theirs. In fact, you got more power over this world than them by far. Because you're in the living world, not the dead world, man. They all live in the dead world. But yeah, it's you know, and at the end of the day, I think like eventually if they push me far enough, where I'm struggling to survive in this fucking corporate shit, I might just move, you know what I mean? I might just get up and fucking go to another country, innit? And I know you're going to say, yeah, well, what's the difference? But there's not. But it's a case of maybe go to a country where the costs aren't so high. So therefore, you don't need to fucking, you know what I mean, worry so much and live on the cheap and just get by, which, you know, without all the stress of the fucking scumbags, you know what I mean? Then you won't have to live in an address and all of that shit. But for now, I'm just holding tight, man. I'm holding strong my castle, innit? In fact, I don't even like the name castle. Cast L, maybe L cast. But whenever you're casting something, I always think, sounds a bit fucking spellish to me. But well done, Annette. I'm glad there's people out there standing, man, who aren't fucking, because it's not even the point about the money, is it? It's the point about you start to stand up for yourself, because you start to, you know, it's more about, no, they're not. How dare they? That's really what it is, isn't it? It's how fucking dare these fucking wankers think they're gonna fucking bully me and you know, steal from me. You know what I mean? How dare they think they're just gonna keep getting away with it because I'm always gonna bow down, isn't it? And how can we be how can we like disagree with how disgusting the world is, yet participate all the time, innit? Just go along to get along. Then we're just exactly the same as everyone else. We're not making any fucking difference, are we? We're not doing anything for the future generations. We're not doing anything to try and make this world better and happier. And again, you know, we always have to fight. We always have to confront. We always have to be attacked by everyone around us and told we're stupid and have to go through the grief of listening to idiots because they're idiots. But at the end of the day, at least in our own minds, we're saving our own fucking heart, souls, fucking, you know what I mean? We're showing that we're not easy pushovers. We're not fucking cowards. All the three things on the yellow brick road, innit? We got a brain to work out that they're stealing from us. We got a fucking heart to know how disgusting and how it's killing and screwing fucking people, and how the younger generations have got no hope so long as the older generations keep allowing, right? And we're brave enough to stand up to them, innit? Always the yellow brick road, man. And it's also good just to know other people are out there doing it, innit? You know what I mean? So in that way, even though you're doing it on your own and you got to go through all the shit on your own and it's stressful on your own, and it'd be much nicer if there's a whole fucking group of you all doing it together. Just knowing that other people out there, you're not on your own, are you? There are others going, fuck you. You don't fucking get to treat me this way, you cunts. You vermin of the fucking world, innit? Ah, fuck's sake. So I'm just fuck's saking about a car. I see a potential. And then straight away looking there selling another car. You think, okay, this is like a car dealer, small time, outside his house. Well, so what's going on? Anyone heard anything more about Iran? Because as far as I can see, it was literally like a day, maybe 2 day thing where it was like, Iran has, sent missiles over fucking Israel. And then it's, the RAF shot a load down. Like, right, why is the RAF shooting them down? What are the RAF doing there at the particular time that Iran shot these missiles? And then it just seemed to went fucking well. Like, obviously I don't see the news, but I did do a search last night on the latest headlines, and there was nothing about fucking war. Funny enough, I don't think, other than the UN or fucking some fucking one of these corporations is sending relief to the Gaza Strip or so. Like, that's about it, right? And I thought, well, what happened about Iran then? You know what I mean? They just sort of like made this massive headlines about it, and they're going quiet on it. So they put it in people's minds. Israel didn't mention what Iran did. What do you mean Israel didn't mention? Like, and last thing was like there were a load of like YouTube things on on that thing, and it's like, oh, these experts, fucking experts in it. Israel are going to, Israel are going to have to retaliate, and all that, right? But it's amazing how they got all these people, like, again, over here, obviously in Luton, it's a huge, we got a big Muslim population, right? And because of that, you'll be amazed how many fucking flags you'll see for Palestine, right? Palestinian flags and cars saying "Free Palestine" on the side and shit, right? And it's like, fucking hell, stop falling for it. Stop picking a side. Just because you're saying that fucking and the only reason they're picking a side, of course, based on that is because Palestine is mainly Muslim, right? It's a Muslim country. So like, not because they're any of these people are families are from there, you know, and it just like, I scratch my head, man, how easily like fucking led they all are to pick a side and, you know, start waving flags for countries they probably never even been to. And you're like, fuck me. And it was exactly the same with Russia, weren't it? You know, it's like I went into a shop and fucking had a go at them. I said, "How dare you? They had it over the, you know, in all the fucking corporate fucking supermarkets. We're giving aid to UK Rain, you know what I mean, and telling everyone that we're on, you know, you're on Ukraine side of this war that you've been told about on the news, and everyone, you know." And I had to go at them. I said, "What if a fucking a Russian walks in here?" I said, "There's Russians live in this area. How are they going to feel?" You know what I mean? Oh, fucking hell. It's like, stop falling for the fucking bullshit all the time, people. Exactly what they're doing, man. And then, of course, the Brits, they've got all the Brits, the Christians and the Catholics will all somehow believe that, you know, Israel is great. You know what I mean? So then you got all the Muslims going, Israel cuts. So you see how this is like panning out. How it's starting to lead towards or it'll start to lead towards you know, civil wars between people in countries based on fucking news reports, stories. You hear that guy say, yeah, I talked about it yesterday. It's like, what the fuck? What a load of, and again, it's just a highlight. It's a news, and it was witnessed by news reporters. That was the funny thing about it. Like, they literally put in a bit, it's witnessed by, it must be real then. If it's witnessed by news reporters never lie. It's clearly there just to highlight a story, to highlight the Trump campaign, isn't it? And they even start going on about social media in there. Oh, he put a week before that he was going to set himself on fire on his social media network as a way of protest. I was like, oh, fuck off. Fucking load of shit. Just got to keep highlighting Trump, ain't we? I wonder why. I wonder why Trump's never left the fucking press, right? The only president, all the other presidents tend to fucking, you know, go and that's it. You know what I mean? They might pop their head up once in a blue moon later on, years later. But Trump finishes his presidency and he's constantly in the fucking news. Constantly, he gets to do speeches. He gets, you know, and all the idiots that fucking believe. And again, like they even said with Trump's, like I saw, I said on another video, but I was having my car serviced on Tuesday, and I'm in the garage waiting for my car to be serviced. And in the waiting room, they got a telly, and it's morning, fucking, you know, morning, you know, Good Morning Britain or whatever it is these days. I don't know, but they were talking about Trump and his trial, and they said, "Oh yeah, if he's found guilty, he could get 4 years maximum." But the chances are, if he's found guilty, the judge will probably give him a fine, which was like, yeah, basically, if you're rich enough, that's really what they're saying. You don't have to go to jail if you're rich enough. Because the corporation for £1 million then have to pay for you in a jail, and you know, It's better maths for them to give him £1 million fine, say, but he can therefore, if you're rich enough, don't have to, and just give money, which is of course pennies to somebody, so many people, isn't it? But they actually literally said this, right? No word of a lie. They said, but he can still be president whilst he's in jail. I was like, what? He can still be president when he's in jail. I was just dumbfounded by that. I was like, oh my God, that just shows you how fucking ridiculously dumb this world is. When the news tells you someone can be fucking president and still be in jail in the country that they're president for, you know what I mean? Oh, Trump's 100% going to be back. Yeah, he's 9/11 president, and it. He's the golden fucking, what is it? Golden calf. You know what I mean? Was it 1222 golden ball? Look up 1222 golden ball, and I think in 800 years later, he was like the golden calf. Hence why they've done a golden statue of him, which you might have seen something about some years ago. But 4 plus 5, 45th, 4 plus 7, 47th president. You know what I mean? The 9/11 president, man. I'd say this 5 years ago, he's going to be the 47th president. And they're going to hype this story. The whole point of him in court and all that is to, I dare say he'll win his court case. So then we'll have to hear a big speech from him. It'll be mainstream media news, how, and he'll tell how, and in that speech, it'll all be about how corrupt and how America's, law system or the system in America needs to change, and he's the man to do it. And all these little fanboys are going, yeah, Trump's the savior. He's one of us. Oh, it's fucking funny as fuck. And that's probably also why they always spray him orange, isn't it? Because he's the golden fucking calf, man. But yeah, it's fucking just, it makes me fucking sick, honestly, when I see it all. It's like, oh, it's so child, something a child might fall for, but an adult shouldn't, but they all do, innit? So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I was tempted, and if I'd had money at the time, I was going to go down and put a bet on it. You know what I mean? I felt like, fuck, if only at that time I think it was a time where I was, really considering wanting to put a bet that Trump was going to be the 47th president. Was when I was fucking eating cheese and tomato pizzas to survive, right? But I thought, I'll probably get good odds, seeming like Biden's only just taken the presidency, or it might have even been while Trump was still in presidency. But I thought it'd be, I'll probably get some good fucking odds in this. In the year 2024, I'll probably get a nice fucking payout, mate. You know what I mean? But now, of course, the odds are going to be fucking minimal, because apparently I see a headline once before saying he's the only runner, like he's the only one running for presidency or something. I was like, what? I don't know how that worked out, or how they, but something like that. So I was like, fucking hell. But yeah, I think it was, it would have been a good bet to place back in when I wanted to, especially if you had like just 100 quid on it. I'd probably be fucking getting like fucking 20 grand or something. The odds must have been so fucking low of Trump becoming president on the 47th at that time. And he hadn't even said that he was going to be running for president at that time, of course. But there we go. Mad. The world of fucking loonies. Okay, let's see now. I'm just still looking on Facebook, but I'll refresh it, see if there's any bargain come up. Like literally, I've been looking for a new car. When did I sell that last car? I reckon it's probably January. And since then, like, I haven't found a car to buy. That's how fucking bad it is now, man. Okay, it needs good clean bodywork and good condition for you. Does that piece slightly underpowered? See, it's things like that. Starts, runs, and drives fine, but it's slightly underpowered. So it doesn't drive fine then if it's slightly underpowered, does it? And things like that, you know, you go, yeah, that's cheap, but more than likely they've taken it to a garage and been told, oh yeah, the reason it's underpowered is because it's going to cost you $1,000, mate. And then you got to, like, it's all the hassle, isn't it? I just want a car that I can buy and sell, you know, maybe clean up, not have to fucking send it to a garage because that's headaches and lots of money, and garages ain't fucking cheap anymore. There's no such thing. There used to be loads of, you know, cheap mechanics. You could be able to take a car to, and, you know, 20 quid, 50 quid fixes, because they didn't have all the overheads, right? The bit of land that they were working on wasn't fucking $3,000 a month, plus utility bills, plus fucking council taxes and business taxes, and you know what I mean. Now, fucking hell, like it's hard to find a mechanic now. It's less than £90 an hour. So before you even find out what's wrong with the car, it's probably cost you 90 quid. You know what I mean? Oh, right, yeah, we diagnosed it. That's £90. If you're lucky, maybe 180 quid, right? 2 hours to find out what's wrong with it. Yeah, now the part's going to cost you fucking stupid amounts of money because the whole world's changed. Everything's got fucking stupid expensive. And then the labour to fit it, you know what I mean? Oh, right, so we're at 600 quid and it's just a fucking, you know what I mean? One little fucking part and of course all the manufacturers now are making it so hard to work on cars to get to the bits that you have to take out loads in order so they make money in their service fucking areas. So yeah, fuck, man, the car trade is nothing like it used to be. I would have flipped probably 10 cars by now in that time period, and I can't find one at the moment. Back in the day, and I'd have been buying 500 quid cars all day long. And the problem now is because you've got to pay so much more for a car, means that you know, if you got stung on a £500 car, you could usually buy your way out of it. Okay, an engine. It might need an engine. I could get an engine and get it changed for probably 500 quid back in the day. So you're £1,000 in the car, and you could probably sell that car for £1,000. So you wouldn't lose money. And even if you did, you might lose 100, or at best, you might sell it to the fucking scrap man and get 200 quid for it. So you've lost 300 quid. But these days, you've got to spend £1,000, 1,500 quid on a car. And if you're fucked up there, you know what I mean? If you make a mistake on that one, chances are it's going to cost you £1,000, because the only way out of it is to give it to the scrap man. And nowadays, you might get 400 quid maybe. So it costs you 1,100 quid. You know what I mean? But yeah. You're in the fucking hole, and right now I can't afford to go into a big hole, man. That's the last thing I need. I'm in a hole, really, with the BMW, right? I got to get an engine for it. I got to fucking have it fitted, and I can see I can do that for £1,000, but I don't want to spend all my savings on that car, because there's going to be other bits that need doing. I need to MOT it. It needs the fucking stalk just indicator stalk put on because that one's not deleting. And then there's probably going to be other little bits and pieces that I'm not aware of yet. So I'm thinking if I can make the grand out of the money I got before I send that car to have its engine changed, then I'm in a much better position. But trying to make that grand is fucking hard. I'm telling you, it's fucking hard, man. The good thing is, even though they're stealing loads from my wages still, and I'm only coming out at like 1,300 quid a month, because my overheads are still so low, I'm still managing to add money, you know, a few hundred quid at least left each month. So my money's going up each month, like my savings, but the idea is, I mean, if I was a smart man, I'd probably get that engine done and sell the Beamer. But I want to enjoy the Beamer before I sell the Beamer. You know what I mean? That's the ultimate goal, is to have a little bit of enjoyment. I don't need a lot. I know it's going to be a waste just sitting there. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to be using it while I've got a company car. It's only going to be a summer mobile. I don't want to sell it in winter. So I'm going to have to sell it in the summer. But if I could have a few days memory of cruising around in my Beamer, enjoying it, going to a seaside, just having a little bit of like fucking mark enjoyment for a change, then sell it. Then I'll be like, yay. And then I should have $4,000, right? I should get about $4,000 for that car. So I need to get it done soon, but I'm just holding off. Well, I'm going, okay, we're in April now, fucking hell. Like, I was thinking I was going to get it done in March, you know, originally in January. Yeah, I'll flip another car or two. I'm fucking sound. That pays for the engine. Done in March, fucking April. Hopefully the weather gets better. I'm cruising around, enjoying my car at the weekends. Rooftop down. You know what I mean? But now it's like, okay, it's going on a bit. No, I never have a business partner. I had a business partner, and he put me in the ground, man. Like I run on my own for about 10 years, building up. You know what I mean? Then stupidly took on a business partner, and ended up fucking where I am now, innit? You know what I mean? Ended up losing everything because of his fucking absolute cunt. And so I learned from that, just trust yourself, man. Going into business, trust yourself. Don't fucking trust, you know, unless you've got someone who you've known for years, like a family member or something, then fair enough. But, you know, he's never let you down. But, you know, I got him, he was a mechanic. So it's like fucking great, ideal. I need to get land. I need somewhere to sell my cars from. It's not really cost effective for just selling cars, but if I can have a garage where we service cars, we've got a mechanic as a partner, and we immediately was fucking making money out of that business. But this cunt, just lazy fucking thief, fucking scumbag, man, didn't want to do business. He just wanted to do as little as possible and steal from people. And he ended up I ended up having to leave the land that I paid for, because I stupidly put him on the lease, and therefore couldn't get him off and could not work fucking near him anymore because the stress. And knowing that he weren't gonna be there long anyway, but you know what I mean, when he was on his own, he was never going to be able to pay. He was never going to pay the rent and turn it into a business. And sure enough, 6 months down the line, he'd sublet it. He'd sublet this fucking garage, lazy cunt, right? And it was cheap rent, really cheap rent for a garage for what it was at the time. And yeah, 6 months he'd sublet it, and then the cunts he'd sublet it to hadn't paid him, and he's probably going, oh yeah, I can make easy money. I'm paying like, I think it's like 600 quid a month for this garage at the time, and they're going to put it up to 7 the next year and 8 the next year. But he'd like going, oh yeah, I could get 1,200 easy for this, and just sit back and get 600 quid a month for doing fuck all, which is probably what he'd done, right? But then they didn't pay him. This. Yeah, and then he's I heard like, and he's got such a bad reputation for owing people, companies, businesses in Luton that, you know, such a bad reputation as a mechanic in Luton that you know, I knew he's a fucking idiot to himself, because he had everything, and he had somebody, and I was working all the hours. I couldn't even rely on him to open up the gates at 8 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? So when I was booking in customers for services and that, I couldn't rely on him to be there, so I had to be there to open the fucking gates. Of course, I wasn't going to bed till 2 in the morning, because I was sitting on here, marketing the business, buying cars, selling cars, doing all the shit that you do when you're starting a business, innit? And I was working till 2 a.m. and then having to get down to the garage for 8 to open the gates, because I couldn't even rely on that prick to do it. And all he had to do was the mechanics. That was all I expected from him. Everything else I was taking care of, and the prick just fucking didn't appreciate it, man. He was such a scumbag. So yeah, and I never have a business partner again, innit? I'll just stick with what I do, But I can't even, like, the problem with him now is you can't even, like, the car trade's so fucking horrible now, that you need, like, you know, ideally your own piece of land that that's yours, right, that you can work from, because the cost of a garage or land now is ridiculous. And then you need a good 20-30 grand backing, because everything's so expensive, and without that you'll fall into a hole, right? You fall into a hole. Like, well, back in the day I started with 400 quid, that was it. And you know, within 4 years or so I had one car to about 15-20 cars, and that was the time where it was like, okay, I got fucking. And this guy was like, if you ever want to start, you know, get a bit of land or something, I'll come and work for you, or we can be partners. And he was all like a jolly nice bloke then when he was being a mechanic for me. And the place where he's working, he was, you know, he's telling me how it was so shit, and the boss there was so nasty. So I was like thinking, okay, this guy seems like, you know, he'll appreciate it. He'll be good. Let's make him a partner. Let's fucking, you know, get him G'd up that he wants to fucking do something and can see a fucking light at the end of the tunnel. And I put all the money in because he didn't have none. And yeah, just what a wanker, man. In hindsight, right? Hindsight's a fucking great thing. I should still be there. I'd be making a fucking mint now if I was still at that garage doing it on my own. But my biggest mistake was fucking making him a partner and trusting him. And in theory, there was enough things that before I actually got that particular garage, that because we started off in a little garage because we couldn't find anything, so we just started off on this small one. And there's a wanker there. The bloke who run that place, like, it's just a complete cunt. But there was enough signs for me to probably have gone. But I give him a second chance in it, and that was like stupid of me, really. But there we go. But I got out because I went, well, I've just got to get the fuck away from it. And then I got a recovery truck. See, I thought, okay, I'll go back to selling cars from home for now, and I'll get a recovery truck. And I was building that business of picking other people's cars up. I was getting myself out of the debt that he'd put me in. And it was all going well. The recovery business was starting to like, I got my second recovery truck, like sold the first one, got something better. So I was building, and then my engine went pop because I was working it so hard. I was bombing backwards and forwards in this recovery truck when it was loaded because I didn't want to miss jobs because I was in debt. Right, I needed to make money and I needed this to succeed. So I was bombing around, and I blew the engine. And then I give it to this garage of guys that I thought I could trust. Fucking 1 year later, about £5,000, they give me back a fucking bag of nails that I had to sell for 1,700 quid. And the truck itself, when running, would have probably been worth about £5,000. But if it is running after £5,000 and a year of being out, so I lost all that work for a year. Didn't have my recovery truck. Yeah, and that was it. That's when I was that like in a hole. I was like, okay, I'm fucked now, and that was mechanics. You know what I mean? Now what am I doing? I'm selling to mechanics, and it's like, oh fuck. But yeah, just people who you can, never done what they said they were going to do, unfortunately. And then come the back cold, didn't it? Not long after that, the back cold comes. So I had about 4 years of fucking stress with all that, man. Business. That's like it's a 4-year period where I went from fucking strong to nothing. And then the back cold come along. And that's when I'm not doing anything. I'm just gonna fucking starve if I have to. I ain't fucking getting involved, mate. You know what I mean? I'm not going to work for somebody now when they're gonna start telling me I've got to do this and do that and stick injections in my arms and all that shit. No way. So I just sat back and fucking suffered, didn't it? And then once all that cleared, that's when I went, okay, what am I going to do? And here I am. Now they're trying to fuck that up with their fucking point system, innit? Fucking cunts. The world's a bunch of wankers, man. But anyway, I'm going to go in a minute because I suppose I've done the same as I always do on a Saturday. Get up, drink coffee, watch a bit of fucking YouTube car programs, do a live, fucking sit in me dressing gown, smoking cigarettes. Actually, I've only got, I don't think I've got, I think I've run out of cigarettes, which always motivates me to get showered and have to go out and get some more cigarettes. Funny enough. It's a bad addiction, isn't it? Yeah. I suppose I'll get showered, go out. I really need a haircut. I went down Monday. I was like, well, I'm getting me out. Like, it's one of them things I hate doing. I fucking hate going to the hairdressers. It's like such a chore. But Monday, I was like, well, I'm getting me a haircut. Fucking parked the car up, walked down there, fucking closed in it. I was like, fuck. Then I haven't had an opportunity. And I don't really like going Saturdays because it's always the busiest day, isn't it? I think, a good thing about my job is I can just walk in there when it's the quietest times. But I'm thinking, should I get my hair cut? Should I just fucking go and, you know what I mean, do the whole wait? But like that makes it even worse. It's nice when you just walk into a hairdresser's and you're in the seat and you get your hair cut. And there is a place, it's a bit like, there's one where I could probably pretty much do that, but it's a bit up and down on how they do my hair. So the one that does it usually always good is where I have to wait. So I tend to like try and go there, but sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I ain't fucking, I'm just going to go to the other one who sometimes doesn't quite do as good a job. But I'd like to have it done and dusted. I always feel better when my hair's cut. I feel like, that's great. I haven't got to worry about my haircut now I usually go 2 months. Like a lot of people nowadays, they're getting a haircut weekly. I remember when I was at school and that, my mate used to always, every month, get his haircut. I thought, fucking hell. And back then I'd wait like 3 months. Now, pretty much, I think it's about 2 months. When did I last get my haircut? Got it done in December. I know that. December, January, February. Yeah, it must have been February I probably got my haircut. So now I get it done every couple of months, but it's not like it gets like so bad or anything, but I just like the ease. I'm just lazy. I think I like the ease in the morning of just literally 10 seconds on my hair. It's all it takes when my hair's cutting. But it pretty much only takes that anyway. I don't use a brush. I don't use a comb. I just water my hair, put some water on it, and just do it with my fingers. So it's not like a massive, even when it's sort of longer, but it starts to, So I like to, it's so much nicer when it's short because it's so much easier just to go. I've not tried putting hairspray on number plates. I've never heard of that one. Maybe I'll give it a go, but ideally, I don't feel like I've just got to get them to to stand under my fucking shit. Really, I just don't want to fucking have these cunts telling me what I've got to do. So, and I had a clean license the whole time I worked for myself because I'd never register a car to myself, right? I wouldn't register it to a business, especially. Apart from I don't know, but I never so I stayed pointless. Like I didn't have any points for like 12 years. I had a clean license because I didn't ever have anything registered to me, which is the way to go really. And when you got a company car, that's when as soon as the company cars come, that's when it becomes a fucking problem, isn't it? So yeah, that's when you start getting attacked because it's a company car that's fucking me at the moment. Hence, probably another reason why I'm not that bothered. Like most people be like, oh no, I got a brand new car and I'd hate to lose that. And it is a perk. But at the same time, it's also a fucking pain in the ass because these fuckers write to them and then they give you your name and fucking all that shit in it. And you're like, oh, fuck off. Now I got to deal with these cunts again. All right, I'm going to go. Thanks for coming, Annette. It looks like you're the only one. Gary, if you're still there. Herman, don't know if you're still there. I doubt it because you're normally chatty, mate. But thanks for coming and I'll speak to you soon. Have a good fucking weekend. See you later.